Hey guys, welcome to week 5. We are 2 weeks away from finishing our winter challenge. Not to say that we're going to have a big celebration and all of that after the challenge. It's hopefully hasn't been a challenge of deprivation. Hopefully you're not hoping or wishing for the challenge to be over because you want to get back to the way things were. Hopefully you've learned some habits and you're building a good solid foundation so that when the challenge is over, we can essentially just carry on exactly how we've been carrying on for the last few weeks. And that can be our way of life going forward. Today, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about building a strong mindset. Now, this correlates so well with exercise and with diet. If you don't feel like exercising, just for a small example, if you don't feel like exercising, it's not because you're physically incapable. It's because your mind is formulating excuses as to why you can't train, or helping you make excuses and giving you reasons as to why you can't train, versus choosing the hard option and saying, I'm training regardless of how I feel, whether I feel motivated, whether I feel encouraged. I'm going to make the choice to go and train, having a strong mindset. And we're going to try and talk about a little bit about that, and then potentially in our health challenge this week, try and adopt some habits that can help build up mental strength and resilience within our minds to start making those harder decisions feel a little bit easier for us. So as humans, our natural tendency is to find the easy way out, right? If I would like to lose weight, we run after the fad diets, because what's the easiest option? If I want to get fit, what's the best program I can do to get fit? Because I want not the easy option, but the shortest possible route. I'm essentially, as a human, always trying to look for the most efficient, easiest, and the fastest ways to do things, when in actual fact, that's not really the approach we need to be taking. Obviously, formulating all of these habits and foundations over the last few weeks, we kind of getting to the point where we know, okay, well, I want to live a life of moderation, but if I want to get results, I potentially often need to do difficult things. I need to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go train, because that's the only time I can fit it into my schedule. Or even if I've had a really long day of work, I need to be disciplined enough to go and exercise even when it feels hard. Those are the decisions I need to be making. And if I can adopt some habits within my life to build up my mental strength and my mental resilience, it's going to not find an easy way, but it's going to make those hard decisions feel a little bit easier. And in the exact same way that we train our bodies, we train to get fit, we train to get strong, we can train our minds to become more resilient and a little bit stronger in terms of making those hard decisions. So we want to essentially get to the point where we stop wishing for things to be easier, but we build up our mental strength to be able to tackle the hard things and make them feel easier. And again, using the word sustainability, if we can do that and we can incorporate a well-rounded approach to our life, where we've got a social aspect where we can afford to eat and drink a little bit with friends and family and in moderation, we've got our fitness and our health aspect, and we've got our mental aspect where we focus on bringing that all together, creating a well-rounded approach in life and setting us up for longevity. So that kind of brings me to our health challenge for this week. Now, there's a few things that we're going to try and tackle, and I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into potentially some of the benefits that we could hopefully experience through tackling each of these points. Okay, the first one, which we are picking from the challenge 75 hard, if any of you have attempted it or completed it before. The first health challenge that we're going to tackle this week is reading 10 pages of a book, ideally a self-help book, on a daily basis. So reading 10 pages of a book, and again, getting yourself into a habit where we're in a process of wanting to learn and wanting to grow, and then obviously being disciplined enough to make sure that we incorporate that into our daily lives without question. So that's the first health challenge. The second health challenge now is going to be basically a very short, small form of meditation. Hand in hand with that, a bit of a practice of gratitude. Meditation can mean different things for different people. For some of us, you could wake up and potentially you pray and have some quiet time, and that's your meditation. Some of us, there's a really cool app that you can download called Headspace, and you dive into that a little bit. You just help clear your thoughts and clear your mind, and that's how you start your day. For others, it could be listening to music. It could be anything that allows you to potentially get to the point where you can switch off from any external factors that's going on in your life, all the stresses and the anxiety that we face in this world today, all the negativity around us. Basically, just getting into a habit of starting our day off. So in the morning, and don't say I have kids so I can't do it in the morning. Try and make time for it. Set your alarm 10 minutes earlier. It's not going to cost you a lot, but the benefits are going to far outweigh the difficulty of actually doing it. So we're going to spend basically the first 5 to 10 minutes of our day. And what we're going to do is we're just going to sit, we're going to listen to music, we're going to pray, we're going to clear our thoughts, we're going to use the Headspace app, whatever you can do. Potentially even that could be your time where you read your book, get your 10 pages done. where we basically just start our day off in a bit of calmness, and we try and move our minds and thoughts away from any anxiety or negativity or any stress that we're experiencing. And we're basically just going into the day with the mindset of, okay, cool, I can only control what I can control, and I'm going to go into this day with a positive attitude. And that kind of brings us into the practice of gratitude that goes with that. So during that space and during that time, and potentially right at the end, I want you guys to then just mention three things on a daily basis that you are grateful for. One could be having the ability to come and to be able to exercise. You could be grateful that in this weather we have a warm bed to sleep in and a roof over our heads, and we can be grateful for friends and family around us. Something so simple, so small, but essentially what that's doing is that's just wiring our mind to focus on the positives. I'm sure you guys can agree with me. Sometimes we often get in the habit, we wake up, the first thing we do is we go on Facebook and we surrounded by negativity, what's happening in this world, and we're looking at Instagram and I want to look like that person, and we constantly getting and filling our heads with these thoughts of self-doubt and negativity, and we want to kind of make an effort to move away from that. We want to be disciplined enough. The act of waking up earlier takes a bit of discipline. Sitting down, doing something that you don't always feel like doing, but something that's going to potentially help us to grow and be so good for us in the long run. The next thing, something so simple, so small, is we're going to make sure the first thing that we do when we get out of bed is we're going to make our bed. A school of thought behind that is if you can accomplish the first task of the day, then the rest of the tasks then all of a sudden become easier. That's the first thing you need to do. Make your bed and then allow the tasks or the second, third, fourth, fifth task to follow on from that. Hand in hand with that as well, a really, really good practice is making sure that you do not go to bed with a dirty kitchen. Now, this is something some of us might be like, okay, well, what difference does it make? I can do the dishes in the morning. But it's more about building up that strong mindset of, I don't feel like doing it. I've just had dinner. I'm busy watching TV. The last thing I feel like doing right now is washing dishes when turning down and I'm ready to go to bed. But that's exactly the point, making sure that I do something that I don't feel like doing, and I'm building up that tolerance and I'm building up that strength. And then obviously, not to mention, waking up in a clean kitchen is far better than waking up with dirty dishes. So those are essentially three things that I want us to tackle. So we've got our reading 10 pages a day, we've got our meditation and gratitude practice, and then making our bed and cleaning our kitchen before we go to sleep. Again, guys, it's not one or two things that are so profound that's going to make an enormous difference in our life, but incorporating small things like that as daily habits in alongside our 1 hour of exercise a day, in alongside our 5,000 or 10,000 steps per day, all of these things together is going to just help us grow and become the best version of ourselves. Now, what I need you guys to do with this is make sure that we've got a plan. It's always ideal to have a plan in your day. Just like we've spoken about in the past, you need to plan your diet, right? We need to plan what I'm going to eat so that I don't backtrack on something that's convenient and easy. We want you to plan your day as well, in a sense of, okay, from the start, I've given myself an extra 10 minutes to wake up. And then I know, for example, obviously, set up your meetings and in your work schedule and all of that, and then plan your exercise in and around that as well, so that I've got a plan. There's less chance of me failing because I've got an actionable plan that I'm going to take steps towards achieving on a daily basis. Also, you have that sense of accomplishment at the end of the day, being like, I've ticked off everything off my list that I needed to do for today. I've got a sense of accomplishment, and might not make a difference in one day, but accumulate that for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, you'll see the results start to follow. We're not claiming to be psychological gurus or anything like that. Obviously, this challenge has been very much based off physical health through exercise and then a lot of dietary related stuff as well. But I really believe in a lot of these practices. We've spoken to a lot of people and we've been practicing a lot of this stuff ourselves. And it's about a process of growth and bringing all of these things together to help us be a better, well-rounded version of ourselves. And sometimes we just struggle. Sometimes we struggle, and a lot of people see us as just taking care of the exercise side of things. But if we can build up that mental strength and resilience, you'll see they go hand in hand so well. And life starts just to become a little bit easier for you, or at least we have a more positive outlook on our lives. The physical challenge for this week, the second last physical challenge, we're going to get a little bit more into output again, like we've had in the past. We counted our steps and we're measuring or tracking our exercise and that. This week's physical challenge is we are going to have a little fun competition to see the maximum amount of calories that we can burn and expend on any given day. So obviously we want to track it throughout the week. The photos we'll be posting this week will be in your health app. So in your health app, you'll see you can go into the health app and it shows you your resting energy. So basically your basal metabolic rate, and then your active energy is the energy that you expend through exercise. Combination of those two is the total amount of calories you burn in a day. So this is essentially bringing everything together that we've been discussing in the past. So now We want to get our exercise in because we're going to burn some calories. We want to make sure that we're parking in the furthest parking so we get more steps in. If we get more steps in, we're getting more calories in. And we're obviously just doing more. We're going for a late afternoon walk. We're doing something and we're almost gamifying it to an extent of like, cool, I've only burned 1,000 calories today. Let me go for a little walk and get it up to 1,500 or whatever it may be, just to encourage us to move more and to be more active. I'm excited for next week. We've got a really fun challenge next week where we're going to basically bring everyone together in a nice big group, and we're going to just do like a team challenge just to finish off the winter challenge. But guys, well done so far. If you've made it this far and you're feeling good and you're feeling strong, well done. Good luck for the upcoming week, and we will see you at the box. Cheers.